In a land far away, there exists a time of heroes and of villains, of mighty warriors and their lovers, who reach out and through a code of chivalry, a code of justice, a code of righteousness, seek to put the world to rights. This is that land. And we are playing tonight Hearts of Wulin. Hearts of Wulin is a game inspired by Chinese Wulin and Wuxia romantic adventure stories. It's a hack of several other games which are powered by the Apocalypse, which has been written by the Gauntlet's own Lowell Francis. And we're playing the game tonight with his permission to use the rule set. As this is a Gauntlet game, as with all Gauntlet games, there are a number of safety tools that we use as part of this. We do have the Gauntlet inclusivity policy, so we have the open table policy. So if any time someone is not feeling this, if they're feeling uncomfortable, anyone can pull out at any time, and there'll be no issues with that whatsoever. Equally, the other main safety tool we're going to use is something called the X card. If at any time problematic material comes up, or something you feel uncomfortable with, you can write X in the chat, or cross X on the screen, or just say, I'd like to X card that. We won't actually ask you to explain why, but we may just ask for some context about what the problematic material is. Then we'll redress the scene, refocus it, and move on without that material. So, I have 3 players with me tonight to enter into the world of Wulin and Zhanhu. So, we have Alan, we have David, and we have Walter. Now, the players haven't actually made characters yet, and there's a reason for that. Before they make characters, they need to understand a bit of the world that they're going to be playing in. And this is what we're going to do for the first part of the session. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to establish somewhat of the world that the game takes place in by laying down some groups that the players will interact with in different factions within the game world. Now, the groups are classed into 4 different categories. There are the righteous, the upstanding pillars of the law, of justice, of harmony, of martial pride and power. There's also the unrighteous, those who break the rules, those who use poison, those who are assassins, thieves, those who strike out against the good and honest people. And then there's those in between, the ambiguous ones who can sometimes be a force of good, but equally can sometimes be a force for harm as well. And no one ever really knows where they stand. And finally, the last group are those who are no longer with us. One faction is going to have started the game being destroyed. And as part of this, we will actually find out who that is. Now, originally when I started this up, we started up to have 4 players. So I started that up for 9 groups. So as we only have 3 tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce that down somewhat. So if you look under the factions and names, you'll see factions for Hearts of Wulin at the top of the sheet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one of the righteous faction slots and one of the unrighteous faction slots. That leaves us with 2 righteous factions, 2 ambiguous factions, 2 unrighteous factions, and 1 faction that's being destroyed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the players in turn and ask you to name a faction and choose whether it's righteous, unrighteous, ambiguous, or destroyed. You're going to go through twice, and then the last remaining faction I get to name myself. So there are many different types of factions in the world of Wulin and Wuxia. You can have the noble order of monks that seek to go out, itinerant monks that seek to go out into the world and spread the message of the Tao and of Buddhism to the people. Equally, you have groups of warrior heroes who go out, and brotherhoods who are sworn to band together to actually help the common people and bring the land to peace. Another type of faction that you commonly get in these stories are the escort agencies. These are groups of armed people who are hired to protect people, places, and material as they move across the land of China, or whichever land we actually call this. They tend to be. They can fall anywhere between the more scrupulous or the unscrupulous, or those somewhere in between. Equally, with the unrighteous factions, you can get guilds of, well, you get sects of beggars and pickpockets and thieves. You have assassins. You have ninjas. Yes, you have full-blown ninjas, black suits and everything. You get poisoners. You get evil warlords who want to establish their rule over one part of the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from left to right as I see it on the screen. So this is going to be in alphabetical order. So Alan, can you give me the name of a faction? Tell me, are they righteous or unrighteous, ambiguous, or have they been destroyed?
I think they're ambiguous. I think they probably call themselves the Righteous Brothers of the Road. And they are one of those protective brotherhoods that, generally speaking, protect travelers on the road, but aren't above bending the rules on that a bit, hence ambiguous.
Brilliant, thank you. And David, can you give me the name of a faction and tell me, is it righteous, unrighteous, ambiguous, or has it been destroyed?
I think the faction I'm going to go for is the Temple of the Eastern Dragon, a Taoist monastery on the coast. And it is destroyed.
Thank you. The Temple of the Eastern Dragon. Okay, thank you. And Walter, can you give me a faction name? And can you tell me, is it righteous, unrighteous, or ambiguous?
Yes. So the Crystal Hammer is the name of the faction, and they are a righteous band of heroes, a brotherhood.
Okay. So the Crystal Hammer Brotherhood. Brilliant. Okay, so back to you, Alan.
This is an unrighteous group of monks called the Poisoned Lotus.
Excellent, thank you. And David, can I have another faction, please?
Yes, the I was just tripping over words there. I think I'm going to go for the Sisters of the Drifting Blossom.
Okay, and are they righteous?
Oh, sorry, they are ambiguous, I think.
Okay. So I can see you're typing that in there, so I will let you. And Walter, can I have a faction name? And are they unrighteous or righteous?
Yes. There is a band of assassins, which are known as the Unfettered Frost, and they are unrighteous.
The Unfettered Frost. Is that a sect then, or?
They are unrighteous sect of assassins.
Brilliant. So Okay. And that leaves the last group, which is for me to name, which is a righteous group. And I think we're going to have the Empty Bowl Beggar Sect. A group of beggars that unite together to actually fight corruption of the ruling classes. There we go. So that gives us the 7 factions that we have for this playthrough. So,
I just want to make, I might just want to make a slight alteration to the second one. I'm just going to call them the Drifting Blossoms. Get the order name out of there, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the factions that we have the Crystal Hammer Brotherhood, a group of warrior brotherhood of effectively knight errants that wander the country, fighting for righteousness and the name of order. We have the Empty Bowl Beggar Sect, which is effectively a beggars guild that do what they can to help the downtrodden masses against corrupt officials and corruption in the world. For the ambiguous factions, we have the Brotherhood of the Road, the Righteous Brotherhood of the Road, who are an escort agency, who, while they may have a quite good image, may at times not necessarily uphold the full ideals of their group and their charter. And we have the Drifting Blossoms. Can you remind me, the Drifting Blossoms were...
I think they are... they are martial artists, but and as well as I think maybe practical artists as well, or physical artists, I suppose, performance artists, what have you. Their exact motives and motivations and goals are not particularly known.
Brilliant. And then for the unrighteous factions, we have the Poison Lotus, an order of evil monks. And finally, we have the Unfettered Frost Sept, a group of assassins. And one faction which isn't with us anymore. The Temple of the Eastern Dragon, a Taoist monastery from the coast that has been destroyed. And there hello, Lloyd.
Hi, didn't the game start at 8:30?
No, 8 o'clock.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I got the wrong time. Have you guys all started without me? I completely missed everything.
We've gone through a little bit of base world building.
Alright, go, I'll just jump in when I can.
No, but now you're back. Have you seen any of the Heart of Wulin playthroughs?
I've seen a few, yes.
Okay. We're actually doing factions to start the game.
Oh, cool. All right. Okay,
so
awesome.
We've not done any character gen yet. We've just gone through building some factions.
Gotcha. Keep going. I'm right here. I'll jump in.
So we've got the 7 factions that we were starting with.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 Orthodox factions, which are the Crystal Hammer Brotherhood, a warrior brotherhood that effectively the Chinese equivalent of knights errants that go around bringing justice and order to the world. We have the Empty Bowl Beggar Sect, which is effectively a beggars guild that protects the common people from corrupt nobles and the like. We have 2 ambiguous factions. We have the Righteous Brothers of the Road, who are an escort agency, who may not be quite as shining examples of their craft as they necessarily would want to portray themselves. We also have the Drifting Blossoms, which are a troupe of martial performing artists. Then we have 2 unrighteous factions. We have the Poison Lotus, which are an order of monks, and the Unfettered Frost Sect, which are a group of assassins. And finally, we have a destroyed faction, which is the Temple of the Eastern Dragon, which is a Taoist monastery that has been destroyed by some reason or purpose that's not yet been revealed. So, Lloyd, I just went through the basic safety tools. So we have the open table policy and the X card for this game. So just want to put that in play. We haven't done character gen yet, but that is actually going to be the next step.
All right, I'm just in time.
So with all those factions actually there now, if you turn to the character keeper,
Yep.
and turn to the tab at the bottom that says CC1 Basics, that takes you through the how to do character generation.
Woohoo!
So you may want to have a talk between yourselves about which playbooks you want to play. So is there anyone in particular want to play in any particular playbook?
Gerwin, just to confirm, will we be associated with one of those factions?
Yes, you will all have at least one bond that actually links you to one of those factions.
Okay.
I kind of have an idea, but I don't want to steal something from other people.
Where the playbooks are they all available somewhere?
Yes, they're all actually on the character keeper. All the character generation is on there. All the moves and the basic moves and the like. If you go to CC1, that takes you through the first parts of it. Now, one of the things about Heart of Wulin is there are no set stats for any particular move. There's one stat that's particularly important to every character, and that's your style stat, which is your martial arts style. If that chi, as the stats are called, gets marked off, you cannot fight until it's been renewed. But whenever you roll to take part in a fight, you always roll with that stat. Now, what the chis do is they represent different ways of approaching problems. So if you look under them on the main character sheet, it actually, on the left-hand side in black, it gives the themes and the focuses for that chi.
So again, sorry. So the style will relate to one of those chi.
Will relate to one of the chis, yes.
Okay.
And the chi are 3 different sets of numbers that we can move the numbers around anywhere we want, though.
You can put the numbers
Yeah,
basically you can put those numbers anywhere you want. It just helps define your character. But it's always an idea to have your style chi as one of the highest ones.
Okay. I'm just going to read out the playbook descriptions here out loud. Aware, show how wisdom provides solutions. Bravo, enjoy every moment. Loyal, express tension between duty and self. Are these like on the basics? Are these expressing like kind of the main motivation then of these?
They express the main way that they actually interact with the story. It's not necessarily the motivation, but for example, if we take one of the playbooks, if we take the Aware, each of you gets one main starting move, and you get 3 to choose from each playbook. So for example, the Aware, you can have the Master. You're the paragon of calm and thoughtfulness. You understand when it's time to fight and when it's not. When you attempt to stop a conflict as it breaks out, roll. Or you could have the Scholar. You're a gifted scholar. When you successfully study based on history, research or informants, you always gain an additional 1 hold and gain +1 forward. Or the Traveling Sifu. Basically, it gives different themes for how you actually use your abilities in the game.
Ooh.
Okay, so everyone gets 1 starting move. Okay. So in a way, there's like kind of 18 choices. There's like 3 under each of the main categories, under the main playbooks.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
It may be an idea to have a look at those starting moves to actually have an idea for the different concepts for the different characters.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that I've got kind of a because I've been lucky enough to play a couple of times before, so I sort of have a negative preference for the Bravo and the Student because I've played both of those playbooks before.
Okay.
But that said, there's enough others that we could avoid overlap, even if people don't want to go for either of those. So,
well, that works fine for me there, because I'd quite like to try the Bravo, and specifically the Gallivant.
Excellent.
Does that tread on anybody's toes?
I think that's fine. You can have that. For now.
And now I've got the idea of actually doing this as a musical episode. Darn that name, Gallivant.
That song was fucking legit.
It was a brilliant series. I'm amazed it ever got season 2.
So were they.
Okay, so we have a Gallivant. Do we have anyone else want to choose a playbook?
I'm happy to wait till last.
Okay.
But I think David has an idea of something he wants to play. So, David, I mean, if you want to pick one.
No, I don't have a strong preference at the minute. I'm just kind of, considering my options.
The Unorthodox Prodigy has got my attention. You have great power, perhaps beyond your ability to control. That sounds hilarious. I'd enjoy that.
Excellent. Those are the sort of characters that when they pick up the sword, they strike at someone, miss, hit the pillar, and the entire building collapses as they take out the supporting beam itself. It can lead to an awful lot of fun, descriptive fights.
Okay. If I kind of have an idea from reading what I'm looking at, but I'm not quite sure what will fall for it. So I have an idea of playing someone who is like fairly high ranking in the faction,
Okay.
but is pretending to be someone else so they can find a partner. So I was thinking I could be tied to one of the like unrighteous factions, and since we're tied to unrighteous factions, it's really hard to find a husband. So I've gone out pretending to be a man to go find myself another man who is worthy enough for me to marry. And I'm not quite sure what I should go with for that. Because the outsider trickster might work really well for that.
But equally, if you're a high-ranking member of another faction, the loyal seems perfectly suited for it.
True. I mean, devoted child would make sense. Because, I'm loyal to the faction, I'm loyal to my family within the faction. But I've gone, well, I need to get married. And being with you guys sucks. So I'm going to go over there and pretend to be someone else for a minute. But at the same time, all men are brothers works really well for the outsider. And for what I had an idea for. So I'm kind of like in between.
Okay. Well, it's up to you. If you want to choose which one you think is going to apply best, then we'll make it work in the game.
Well, I'll wait for the last one to choose because they might want one of the other two roles. If they take one, I'll take the other.
Yeah, I must admit, I was thinking about the loyal. So, if you're cool going for outsider, I think that.
No, I'll change my mind. I'll play loyal now just to screw you. So I'll play outsider then. That's fine.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Okay.
Either the outsider rebel or outsider trickster, or maybe even the wanderer, because that makes even more sense.
Okay, so we're up to part 4 at the moment. So if you go through the playbooks, it lays out, you get one of the main moves, and then you get 2 other moves. So that's on CC2 playbooks. Excuse me. Okay. Also, if people are interested in names, under the factions and names, there are a number of different pre-generated names down there. Sorry, I'm just making some notes as we're doing this. Okay. Here we go.
One thing I like is the styles. I think they're really cool.
When Lowell was doing the names for a lot of things, he was using an exalted name generator, apparently.
that makes perfect sense.
So
That's a good point. What I should do is pick a style that uses a sword, but only use it without the sword and try to pretend it's something else. Just be like, yeah, it's something else, don't worry about it. But it's only completely apparent when I'm using the sword. I'm like, oh, that's definitely from the Unfettered Frost.
I have to admit, this is probably one of the best ideas I've actually had for games.
I'm so amazing. This idea is going to be stellar. Nothing can beat it. Is that what you're saying right now to me, Gyan?
No, I'm saying I have trouble remembering what character names are during it, so having them up on the wall in front of me really helps.
That's probably fair. That case, I can have a complicated name, right?
No, you cannot.
Let me just add like 10 of these names together. Let's see. Ku Di Lan Feng Sun Xiao Ha. Ha ha! Let's go.
No more than 5 words.
Oh. God, I am so bad at reading anything today.
Hard day at work.
Yeah.
Oh, they have you guys in on Sundays?
I had to work Sunday.
Oh.
I have a book I'm writing, and I had to finish some stuff for it.
Oh, fun.
And also, I had to do actual work because, yeah. We're not here to talk about me. I don't know anyone in this fucking channel. Hi, everyone. I'm Lloyd. Nice to meet you all.
Hey, Lloyd.
Lou.
Oh, yeah.
I take it a good portion of us are from the UK.
I think I'm the only one from North America. Is that right?
In
Or
fact,
outside the UK?
the three of us are within about 150 miles of each other.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird for the gauntlet,
It's
for sure.
Really, how does that even happen?
Put it this way, it makes my idea for a Gauntlet Con UK actually in a place.
Well, you went there for the Gauntlet meetup at Dragon Meet, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I had the missus with me.
Yeah, sure. Any excuse. Any excuse. I'm sorry, I'm being harsh for no reason.
No,
there you are.
I should have been there, but
Don't stress it. It was cool. It was just us chilling out.
instead I got lost in Soho on a Saturday night.
That must have been fun.
Nope, Carnaby Road was an absolute killer. But on the plus side, I now have a stapler.
You now have a what?
A stapleless stapler.
What is that? Does it work well?
What?
It basically cuts the paper and folds it back on itself, so you can join sheets of paper together without using metal staples. I was in Mushy when I was down there. They used to have a store in Nottingham, and it's closed. So I went in there and spent a lot of the money that I was going to be spending at Dragon Meet in there.
Dang. I mean, you didn't buy anything for me, but it's fine. Dang.
I was so annoyed. They sold the last copy of Monster Hearts 2 before I got there. Literally about 10 minutes before I actually got to the store.
That sucks.
Having said that, I now have a copy of Worldwide Wrestling. So,
ooh, that kind of makes up for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So, has everyone gone through and done the moves for their playbook?
Almost.
Let's see. Yeah, I chose moves. I didn't write them in yet, but I can. So we each start with 3 moves, right? So I'll put those in.
That's right. You start with one of the main moves and 2 others.
Oh, they're all so good.
Lowell's done a good job of writing this.
I know, right? Damn show off. He thinks he's so cool with his perfect writing and his face.
I really hope he actually publishes it as a full game at some point.
I really would. I mean, he's doing a Kickstarter, didn't you hear?
No, I hadn't heard.
Yeah, it was on the Gauntlet for the New Year's one. For the Big Daddy one they did recently. The everyone talking about what their favorite games of 2018 were.
Oh,
Do you know if there's a date for the Kickstarter, or it's just talking about it?
It's just talking about it. But I expect, Noel, my copy to arrive in my inbox before the 26th of January so I can run at a convention. Lowell, who is listening right now.
If you email Lowell, he probably he may be send you the same material he sent me.
Darling. People send me things, not the other way around. I don't ask. What do you know who I am?
No, who are you?
Okay, fine. I'll go to bed.
Okay.
This done. 22001 seems more fun. Let's do that.
Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold.
Please be well.
I'll do my best.
Oh, there's even more choices. For some reason, I didn't even see all the choices for the 2 extra moves I can choose.
Yeah, there's quite a few different ones under there.
All choices all the time. Yep, I think I'm almost ready for entanglements.
Okay, just entanglements and bonds after that.
Yeah, but I think everyone else is still going. I just have to, and it's a good time for me to think of a name.
So, Darwin, there's a interesting one called shadow boxing that I want to bounce off you. It says a secret group or order aid you. You may not be aware of their assistance. Once per session, you can flash back to some preparation, interference, or negotiation they've done on your behalf. So that sounds really cool. Would you interpret that as something that particular organization might be sort of mysterious, like who they are and what they do at the beginning, or would you want to like flesh out who they are from the get-go?
It's up to you in this instance. Given that it's based around a move, I can if you come up with the basics of what type of people they are, and then I can expand on it in the story.
Okay.
But ultimately, when they come into effect, they're not one of the main factions, so that they won't be one of the main factions in the game. There'll be another sub-faction that's there to use with this move. Go. Oh, excuse me. Okay, Alan, I've just seen your post on the Slack. I'm sorry, I've only
that was just me getting a little nervous at 5 to 8.
Sorry, I'd already come out of the Slack at that point.
No problem.
It's okay. I didn't even know the game was happening until 30 minutes later, because that's me. Woohoo! Yeah.
Just as an aside, unarmed is a valid choice for weapons. I don't know if it makes that clear in there.
I totally got it.
Okay. Alan, I love that character name. Well-worn Ling.
He travels far and often.
Okay.
Oh, am I more passionate? I feel like I'm passionate. No, I'm not that passionate. I don't think I'm a passionate person. I think that's what makes me... Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
That's why you've had trouble finding a man?
Yeah, because I find it very hard to relate to people because of my upbringing. I'm just trying to justify my stats. I think I'm one of those people who is very curious, hence the reason why I'm doing this. And when I'm in a room, it's very obvious that I'm in a room because like I'm a very high-ranking faction member. But then it makes sense of what I am and how it works.
Excellent.
I mean, I am allowed to be a generic high-ranking faction member who is next in line, who is like in line to be like a very important person, but he's desperately looking for a wife. I think that's fair, right? That's not me taking over.
That's fair. You won't be able to pull on the strings for that faction for being the faction member itself, because a lot of those skills and moves are the ones that come from the loyal.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
But yes, in fiction, you yourself are in line to inherit.
That sounds fair.
A high-ranking role within the faction itself. There we go. Okay, so we have all the character names. Has everyone finished their moves?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Oh, hang on. I just noticed there's a picture at the bottom of Unforgiven Viper.
Where'd that come from? I didn't put that there.
No, that's my character from Lowell's game. Let me get rid of
Get
that.
him out of there! Get out of here! I got time for you.
That was Tearful Aria. Okay, so if you look at entanglements now, basically each character gets 2 entanglements. One is a general entanglement, and one is a romantic one. If you notice that each of the entanglements have 2 blank spots to fill in character names or NPC names. Generally, when we're doing this, we want... we should have at least one player character fill in one of those slots. So
Sorry, say that again, Gary.
okay, so if you look on CC3 entanglements, you'll find that for each of the playbooks there are 3 3 romantic entanglements and 3 general entanglements. You get to choose one of each of those. But each of those have 2 blank spots to put in character names. So the entanglements actually form a triangle rather than just being a straight bond. So every character will have 1 romantic bond. Sorry, 1 romantic entanglement and 1 general entanglement. And of the 2 blank spaces for character names in each entanglement, at least 1 must be another character. So what we'll do
a player character.
That's right, yes.
And are we going to... Should we just make up names for NPCs, or will we do that together?
We will do yet. I don't want people to... I'm going to go around and actually do this one by one. So go through... basically go through each character in turn. Do 1 romantic entanglement and 1 general entanglement. And I'd like you to offer that entanglement to another character. So you could choose to have you could choose to have a specific relationship with another character, but I'd like the other character to have the right to say, no, that doesn't necessarily fit my vision, or I'm not particularly happy with that, so that we can try and find a compromise rather than forcing someone into a role. So I'm going to go the opposite way that I went beforehand. So I'm going to start with Walter this time. Walter, can you give me one general entanglement for your character, please?
Yeah. So, and you said for the general, we'll pick. Would we just pick 1 that has 2 slots in it, or we'll pick 2? So we'll end up with like a total of 4.
No, you pick 1 for 1 general, 1 romantic.
1 general and 1 romantic.
Yes,
okay.
But each
so I'd like to pick.
Sorry, go
on. I'd like to pick my hidden... I have hidden my true identity from blank because of my past with blank.
Okay. So who have you hidden your true identity from? This is a chance for you to come up with NPCs as well. So...
Okay. I think I want to... I think I want to hide my true identity from another player character because of my past with some kind of, I don't know what. I think maybe, yeah. So there's some kind of organization that I'm associated with. This might be a good time to tie that in a little bit. So the organization my character is associated with is from my move, which is shadowboxing. A secret group or order aid you. You may not be aware of their assistance. So I'm thinking that would be a good thing to say, that I'm like hiding my association with that group from someone in the party.
Okay, can I have a name from the NPC leader for that group?
An NPC leader for that group.
Yes.
Yeah, let me check out the names. Yes, the leader of that group is a woman named Fang Orchid.
Fang Orchid. Okay. And who are you hiding the your background with them from?
That's a good question, because I don't know much about the other player characters yet.
We could do a quick description.
Oh yes, that's a really good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it beforehand. Okay, actually, what we're going to do first is we're going to go through and actually give a description of our characters. So, Walter, do you want to tell us about your character?
Yes. My name is Ming Starfall. Let's see. I currently have ambiguous gender because I just haven't decided if I want to be male or female yet or whatever. But let's see. My role is unorthodox. So I have I use flexible I use flexible weapons. So like I'm thinking actually fabric and cloth might be one of the main weapons that I use of the water style, but I can also use things like chains. Or under the, it says flexible as a weapon choice. Does that, I took that to mean that I can choose any flexible weapon, or should I choose something like chains, ropes, whips, cloth, like focus on just one, or can I use any flexible weapon?
You can use any flexible weapon, up and
Okay,
including a chain, a whip, a rope, a weighted rope, a grappling hook, anything along those lines.
Okay, so, nice. And I have, yeah, so I have, and I'm a prodigy, so I'm kind of a loose cannon. Like I can do amazing, amazing things until I don't, and then the building collapses around us all. Let's see. I also, I'm covered in tattoos, which are these very, they seem like kind of like these arcane sort of cultish tattoos. And they're associated with some sort of group that has like trained me and tried to harness my power, not entirely successfully. And so, and I haven't decided much about this group other than that they're there. And Fang Orchid is their leader, apparently.
Brilliant. Lloyd, can you tell us a little bit about your character, please?
All right. So, Unforgiving Viper is an up-and-coming member of the Drifting Blossoms Assassins group. She is known for her cruel ways and her harsh tones and her unforgiving nature. But the truth is, she's actually not quite like that. Most of this has been rumors spread by people, especially her family, to big her up towards that. She's just a really nice girl who just wants to go out and meet a boy and fall in love and do all those romantic things that she hears about from her friends, but she never gets to actually fully experience. She is now getting close to the point where she's about to get married off, and her parents are thinking about getting some kind of arranged marriage for her. But she knows whoever she marries will have to be someone who her parents both approve of, which means they're probably going to be dark and evil and horrible and all like, yes, I want to lead the assassin clan as the male leader. And she doesn't want any of it. So she snuck out at night, donned a disguise, and is wandering the lands as a man known as Le Fulan, trying to find basically her romantic husband to fall in love with.
That's such a lovely story.
I know, isn't it great?
Can I ask what your form chi is? Your style chi?
My style chi is Earth.
And what are your weapons?
I use hidden change daggers. So the way I fight is that I fight normally like full-on resist, but I have these chain daggers all over my arm. So people don't see it. I'll hit someone with my palm, but I'll release them and use the daggers to slam them into the chest to do extra damage. So hopefully the people won't notice that I'm doing that. And when I'm in full form, that it becomes this long stretching thing that I throw out at people and tie them up and pull them towards them and do like cool kung fu moves with.
Excellent. I'm imagining mittens with extra sharp bits on the end.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so David, can you tell us about your character, please?
Certainly. I'm going to be playing Black Fox Jan. He's in the loyal role. He works for the Righteous Brothers of the Road as a traveling swordsman and bodyguard protector type. He wears sort of fairly standard sort of martial clothes. He is clearly a professional warrior. Has the hair in the long braid down his back. Has kind of quite a steely gaze. He's not like a big bulky guy. He's kind of got more that wiry, quite sharp featured Vulpine look, hence the name. He's also tattooed, mostly tattooed up his arms, which he wears one of those sort of short sleeved vest type things going on. He fights with the Blade of Smouldering Leaves style, which is perhaps unsurprisingly a fire style, using a traditional sword, the long sort of scholar's sword.
The Jiang.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. Excellent, and I love the style name there. Brilliant. And finally, Alan.
Well-worn Ling is a traveller. I pencil him in as a member of the Righteous Brothers of the Road as well, but if that's a problem, I'll move him somewhere else.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, that actually links you two together quite nicely.
But I probably think that he's a more dilettante member of the Righteous Road, because he's much more interested in enjoying the journey than protecting people on it. His only weapon is a staff, and his style is called the Seeking Pilgrim style, which is tied to fire. He has short cropped hair, lively eyes, an open face, the life and soul of every party. He's never properly shaved. And his tattoos are across his back and are of the places he has visited and the people he has met. He's solidly built and dressed for the road as a traveller.
Excellent. So that's okay. So that's absolutely excellent. Now, with that done, we're going to go back and look at entanglements. Now everyone has a better understanding of who the different characters are. So we'll go back to you, Walter. We started on your first one. You are hiding your past with the organisation headed by a Feng Orchid. From who?
Yes. Let's see here. So let me go back to my list. So I'm hiding my true identity because of my past with Feng Orchid from... I am feeling like saying that I'm hiding it from Well-Worn Ling because Feng Orchid's group is somewhat more ambiguous, and I think that the Righteous Brotherhoods of the Road, that they have a disagreement over proper methods of achieving ends, and so I think it may not go over well for the Righteous Brothers of the Road to know that I'm associated with Feng Orchid.
Brilliant. Okay, so we'll go on next. Unforgiving Viper.
All right, it's my turn.
Can I have one of your entanglements, please?
Well, let's do the simple one. I disguised myself to get close to Blank, but Blank, their lover, is falling for me.
Okay.
I have no idea if anyone else picked a lover or not, but I feel Black Folks Jang is kind of hot, and I kind of want to see what's up with that. But I don't know if Black Folks Jang has a lover or not, and I don't just assume.
Yes, I'm happy to have a lover. That would work nicely.
Okay, what's that lover's name?
Well, I mean, I'd make it up, but like, I feel you should do that.
Sure thing. I'm going to have a look at the name list and pick something fun off of here. Oh, I like Masked River.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
Yeah. So
who is Masked River?
I think that she is a yeah, I think that she is she won't be a fellow member of the Righteous Brotherhood because obviously, fraternizing with your compatriots is a little, frowned upon. I think she's maybe a who may or may not, but knowing these things, probably does have secret martial arts training.
Okay. Is she a member of the
Could
Wandering
she be
Blossoms?
a member of the Drifting Blossoms?
Thank you.
May well be. May well be. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why I was called this guy's Black Fox Strand is because maybe like a year ago on one of our missions, I ran into him and I was so taken back by how amazing he looked and how cool he was that I spent the whole year just going, I wish I could be like him. I wish I could be with him. What am I doing? I'm going to do that. I can do what I want. Mom and Dad don't own me. Yeah.
Did you?
That's why I've done it. That's why I went off.
Given your faction's history, did you cross swords one night as a junior member of a raid while masked?
Yes, definitely. We have definitely fought.
Excellent.
But he was so dreamy and he kicked my ass.
That's how all good relationships should start.
No relationship should not start without a sword fight. I feel believe.
Okay, so we've done Unforgiving Viper. Black Fox Jan, sorry. Can I have one of your entanglements, please?
Certainly. Well, I was considering this one anyway, and this just makes it even more entertaining, I think. I'm going to go for one of the suggested romantic ones for the loyal, and go for. Oops, I've lost the thing anyway. But yeah, go for. I always forget which. So I think I'm going to say that I am in love with Lei Fulan, specifically not Unforgiving Viper, but I have sworn revenge against their family member, which will be, we'll say, Unforgiving Viper's.
You could always fall in love with Lei Fulan, but swear vengeance against Unforgiving Viper.
Yeah, exactly. Because as far as I'm concerned, Lei Fulan has nothing to do with the whole.
That is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So, so if you're in love with Unforgiving Viper, how does Master River feel about this, and does she know? And
no, I don't think she knows yet.
So given that she's your lover, are you coming to the end of that relationship, or
possibly? I think we're still. I think at the minute he's just kind of become aware of Lei Fulan and is just sort of feeling a bit tempted.
Okay. So is the relationship with Master River a formal relationship?
No, I don't think so. I think we're not married. We're not engaged. But we are. I'd say it's a committed relationship, though.
Brilliant.
And I'm going to go for, if you're okay with me naming your father, Lloyd.
Go for it. I think that's fair.
I'm going to go for Merciless. What do we go for? Merciless Scorpion.
Ooh, I like it.
I figure we'll go for one of those proper full-on evil villain naming schemes.
I think I like the idea that the Unfitted Frost all have like horrible evil names, but like when we're home, we're just like a really normal family. We're just like really nice, but our reputation precedes us.
Okay, so brilliant. So with that done, Well-Worn Ling, can I have one of your entanglements, please?
I'll start with a standard one. My clan senior, in the Brotherhood of the Road, Lan Jin Liu, who's a woman, suspects that my friend works against our faction. Now, I'm just wondering whether it might be interesting if Ming Starfall was my friend, which would give her an opportunity to hide her true identity from me, and bind us together a bit more tightly. So does that work for Ming Starfall, Walter?
Yeah, that sounds brilliant.
Okay. I need to get a bigger board apparently, or a smaller pen. 1 second.
When this does come out, you need to tell Lowell that he has to come up with a big board suggestion.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'll put it this way. That's what we have so far.
Yes.
And we're only one step round. Okay. So, that being said, what I'm going to do is Ming Starfall.
Yeah,
Can I have
so
your
I need...
You can...
Yeah, so I picked a normal one. Now I need a romantic one.
That's right, yes.
And let's see, I had an idea, but that was before we went around. Let's see. So I like, I still pursue blank, who rejected me despite the interference of blank, who holds an unrequited love. Now, would it be getting too bound up in the group if I saw if I could fill in 2 player characters for these?
Go for it.
So one of the other people. So I'm still pursuing someone in the group, even though they rejected me, and another person in the group is trying to interfere with my advances because they have an unrequited love for me.
Aww.
So we'll get a good little love triangle thing going on in the group. How's that? I think that I am pursuing. Wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. This is getting confusing. For a second, I was going to say Le Foulon, but someone else already loves Le Foulon.
Yeah, but so you can also
pursue... love Le Foulon.
Well, here's the thing, right? You can probably pursue anyone you want because, like, we'll make it work in the end. So whatever you want to go for is fine. You can also want to go for Black Horse. We can all be trying to bang him.
Put it this way. It is perfectly valid option for everything to end in tragedy for everyone. That's a normally very good ending for a Wulin story.
We're not going for the ending.
Let me ask this: does somebody feel like they would want to have an unrequited love for Ming and try and interfere with Ming? Is anybody excited about playing that? I've decided that Ming is a she/her pronouns. By the way.
Cool.
Let's see.
I would say I probably won't, just because I've already kind of got 2. Attractions going out from me, if that makes sense. So I'm happy to be the target, but I probably wouldn't be interfering.
Wait, you're okay? You're attracted. Yeah, but who? So right, David, you're attracted to Le Foulon, and then someone else is attracted. No, someone else is attracted to you.
That's. I have a current lover, and I am interested in Le Foulon, so I probably wouldn't be the one interfering.
Okay.
Right. If you need a player character, no one take the spot. I'll take the spot. I already have like enough relationship issues, but like if you want to play a character, no one takes the interference. I can take it.
I know. Well, you know it's complicated when we can't even figure it out during setup how this is all going to look. So this is going to be a totally horrible and confusing when we're playing, which is going to be great. So all right, I'm thinking then that I'll pick, well, I feel like I really like the idea that Le Foulon is like out to find Le Foulon's, lover, right? So, so yeah, maybe I won't do anything with that. I think I'll say that Black Fox Gyan is who I am pursuing and who has rejected me. And unless, I don't know, is it, so, all right, yeah, so then Le Foulon, Would you want to play that as being?
Yeah, sure. Because like, if you really want,
unrequited love
if you want to
for
play a character
for
for that slot, I'll take it. I'll be like,
Okay.
okay, I still feel something for you. It's
All right.
unrequited, but I still feel it because I'm still confused. I'm still trying to pick what I want, and I don't know what I want.
All right. Okay, that sounds great. Let's go with that then. Okay. So yeah. So then Black Fox Gyan is who I still pursue, even though they've rejected me.
Okay, brilliant. So with that said, Unforgiving Viper. Can I have your next entanglement, please?
So the reason why it will always be an unrequited love is that I took part of a crime against Ming Starfall. However, Ming Starfall, from your background, do you have siblings?
I have not chosen any siblings, but I could have siblings.
Well, you're gonna have to get some now because I took part of a crime against you. You said people are trying to like get power from you or something similar like that, right?
Yeah, I think I've been like, I'm tangled up with an organization that sort of trains me and helps me out. But it's not clear what my relationship with them is. It seems I'm imagining they might be using me a little bit.
Fair. Well, I mean, was there a moment where perhaps you were kidnapped and taken by people to try and sap your power? I feel like
Yeah,
we did that, and I was part of that, and I feel really bad about it. And
so you know that, but I don't know that about you.
Yeah, and I'm not about to reveal that to you either, because like, if anyone finds out who the hell I am boned.
Okay, can I actually have the text of it, please?
I took part in a crime against Ming Starfall, my friend Blank's sibling.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So then, not only did you like participate in kidnapping me, but you kidnapped me from my sibling, who is your friend.
Yes.
Yes. So
that's awesome.
Who is your sibling?
Do you want to name it, or do you want me to name it? Name them. Ming.
Okay. If you want to come up with a name, otherwise, let's see. I will. Yeah, let's give them another name. Let's say it is. Zun Starfall. XUN.
Deal. Done. I'm finished.
Okay, and can I ask, is that actually a sibling, or is that another prodigy that they've took this organization took in and trained at the same time?
I want to say that that they have a similar sort of powers that I do, but mine is I was recognized. They're like my older sibling. They're my older brother, and it was recognized at a very young age that my power was even more powerful than my brother's. But whereas my brother had great control over it, I have like very inconsistent control.
Okay. And how are you friends with Zun Starfall, Unforgiven Viper?
Zung Starfall, when I very first ever decided to do all of this, was the first person who took me in and basically taught me the ropes of everything else. They don't know who I am, but I was sort of like, what do I do? How do I go about it? They were like, what are you doing? Come over, let's hang out. Like, there was a bit of a fight in a bar somewhere, and I'm like, I need to not reveal who I am by using my techniques. And he came in and saved the day, and we became a bit of buddy friends after that, and we started chatting and we hang out. And it's just really cool.
Excellent. Okay, with that said, Black Fox Gyan. Can I have your last entanglement, please?
Certainly. My last entanglement is I swore to Blank that I would protect Blank, but they would be offended. But they would be offended if they knew. So I think that I swore to. I'm going to pick another name from the. Iron-Faced Bison, who is another member of the. Another member of the Righteous Brothers of the Road that I would protect Well-Worn Ling, because they obviously, think he's a bit bit of a liability with his dilettante ways.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, well-worn Ling, can I have your last entanglement, please?
Now, I'm wondering if I have been engaged by her father to Unforgiving Viper.
Oh my god.
No, that's brilliant.
I love it. I love it. Let's go. Let's do this.
But I've actually fallen in love with her sibling.
Go on.
Name to be confirmed.
If you want a name, what's the evil looking name? We're on snake. We're on
What's
viper.
your
We're on
sister called?
scorpion. What's that poisonous creature from the sea?
Octopus?
No.
Pufferfish.
What?
Urchin.
No, what? No suggestions from you.
Dangerous Mamba.
Ooh. Hateful piranha. There we go.
It's a match made in heaven.
I'm not sure they get many piranhas on the Mekong.
Yeah, you're right. That won't make any sense. Let me try something else.
It has to be another snake.
It has to be. No, it can't be. Well, we've had scorpion and we've had snake. We don't have poisons. Oh, hateful spider. There we go. Problem solved.
So I don't know how you feel, Gerwin. Can I say I have been engaged to? Because there's the sense of against will. Or do you want to stick with the text?
We can do it. We can do it your way if you want. If you want to actually do it as a former relationship, they may not consider it so former.
Well, I think her father is trying to find her so he can tell her.
Oh, so I don't know it's been broken off.
Well, I am engaged. I have been engaged to you, to Unforgiving Viper, by your father. I've been judged an appropriate match.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds fair. Okay.
So you've been engaged to...
Unforgiving Viper.
But you're in love with Hateful Spider?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me delete all these lines.
You need a pin board.
Oh, don't I just? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all the entanglements. Has everyone got two?
Yep.
Okay, just so people are aware, and just so that this is hugely readable. Can anyone else see that?
Do you want
I
to
never want to see that again.
So, you know what I said about it being a brilliant idea? Curse you, loyal Francis. Okay. So, there's one last thing we need to do, and that is bonds, which is a relationship you can call on during the game.
Okay.
So if you have a look under entanglements if you look under CC1 basics for bonds, you start with one bond with your clan, faction or family, and one with another PC, and you can use a simple descriptor. What you can do is you can actually burn a bond to give plus one bonus to someone's roll.
Burning a bond makes it sound like it disappears afterward?
It does. So basically, you give up the bond to give them a bonus to their roll.
Okay. So does that have something fictional? Like if I'm friends with another player character and I burn that bond, are we somehow less friends?
Well, it
in
means
fiction?
potentially it's basically calling in a favor or doing something or asking something from them to actually gain some support. Basically, it's a way of actually being able to modify the dice rolls and influence the dice rolls more than anything else. Faction bonds basically determines how much influence you have with that faction. Outside of specific rules, specifically the ones that people like the loyal get.
Okay, and not being really familiar with the whole set of rules for this, do bonds come and go quickly? Like, are there lots of ways to gain more bonds, or are they relatively rare and precious?
There's a variety of different ways to actually get bonds. For example, when you, there's several different moves you can actually use. One of the things, when characters duel, if you're of equal scale, basically the one who initiated the duel can offer a number of things to the other person to actually let them win. One of the things you can offer up is to actually give bonds to the other person, so that they actually gain bonds to you that they can then call on. Equally, there's other things like hearts and minds, which if you try to influence someone, you can end up actually gaining a bond with them.
Okay.
Also,
okay.
There's a variety of different moves in there that actually allow you to do that.
Okay. Oh yeah, and you have a max +3 bond. That's with a single person. So like I can have up to +3 bond with one individual.
That's correct. With one individual or faction.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm getting the feeling analogous to strings in Monster Heart.
Very much so. It's very much inspired by that.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So if everyone wants to go down and actually mark a bond for your faction and a bond for another character.
Done.
And once we've done that, if everyone's okay, I'd like to take a 10-minute break. And then
one question, Gerwin. I'm not quite certain what the relationship is. Is there mechanical weight in the nature of the relationship, or is that just narrative color?
It's just narrative color. It's also there as a reminder of how the bond came into place, and it's mainly there as a tool to actually remind you of the ways in which it's come there in your relationship with that character.
Fine.
And it's easier than looking at that.
Okay, when do you want us back?
Okay, if we come back at 22.
Okay, no.
Hang on,
that's now.
It's 22
Oh,
now.
sorry. If we come back at 10 to, what we'll do is we'll then go through and run for an hour, and then we'll pick up the game next week. Okay.
Okay, no.
So
okay.
I will speak to you all in 10 minutes.
See you in 10.
Hello.
Hello yourself.
Just waiting for the others back now.
No. Well, I have to say, I've already had a fun night. That character creation is great fun.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Although I have no idea how I'm going to remember all that.
Good luck! It's your fault, don't blame me.
Yeah, same for me. I guess the trick is just focus on the things that my character knows about, and trust that everything will work out. So for bonds, for some reason I was inspired to say that I'm wanted by the Crystal Hammer Brotherhood, and that I'm imagining that I'm actually not sure what the Crystal Hammer Brotherhood wants me for. I'm convinced it's probably some sort of misunderstanding, but all I know is the last time they tried to hog tie me, and I could barely get away, and I thought that was rather untoward. So I'm basically on the run from them, but I'm not from.
Excellent. Okay, so we have David, we have Alan, we have Walter, and we have Lloyd.
Almost. There I am. Just one more thing. I'm pretending to be. I need to pretend to be a faction, so other people don't come after me. And since the destroyed faction, the Temple of the Eastern Dragon, doesn't have anyone who's like with them, I can say I'm one of the few remaining members of the Temple of the Eastern Dragon, because no one knows who they are, right? They've been destroyed.
That's right. They've been destroyed. It happened suddenly in the night. No one knows how or why.
Yeah, I'm like one of the members who survived, who's just managed to get through by good graces. That's why I'm still here. Such a really lucky that I managed to make it. But fortunately, I'm here with good friends who helped me out. Good times.
Okay, so we're gonna start the game. So the kingdom that this the game is set in is a kingdom shrouded in mists, of bamboo forests and flowing grasslands, of high mountains and flowing rivers. It is a kingdom named after the mountain at its core that towers over everything, that can be seen from virtually anywhere within the lands of the kingdom itself. The mount is Mount Jianghu, and it is said to be the birthplace of Kung Fu. Now, in the Wulin world, there are many different factions that encounter each other. There are violent confrontations between the righteous and the unrighteous, and even the righteous can come to arms at times. But ultimately, there has been one person who they've all turned to broker peace. Someone who has become to mediate, instead of destruction, harmony and unison. And that is Master Ironwing Crane. Master Ironwing Crane is the predominant martial artist of the land. Now, he himself will admit that he is not the greatest martial artist or the most powerful, merely the most well respected and the most honourable. And Master Ironwing Crane has announced that he is retiring. A great murmur has gone out amongst the land. People don't know how to react to this. Will someone rise up to take his place? Will chaos ensue? No one knows. But what they do know is he plans to give up his magnificent golden sabre, the Golden Dragon. So with that in mind, he has approached one of the escort agencies to ask to carry it to the governor in the city, in the capital city, a mere 300 miles away through the scorching desert. And so he presented it to the Righteous Brotherhood of the Road, with their promise that it would get there in one piece. But before we get to the journey, we'll cut to a busy tavern, and people are sitting around drinking. There are people eating their meals. There's boisterous music going on. You can see people outside and entertainers with all myriad of different shows. There's spear fighting, there's acrobats, gymnasts. There are people singing out in the market square. And in through the actual... And we cut to the inside of the actual inn itself. And we see a man sitting at a table. He's looking slightly older than his apparent age would imply. Despite the fact he's only around about 25, you can see he already has a balding head and his hair is cut close. But where his hair is cut close and receding, you can see where the hairline was. There are tattoos there that echo down through the rest of his body, which mainly he tries to hide. This is Jan Starfall, and he sits in the inn waiting for the arrival of his longtime friend, Lei Fulan.
Can I come in?
Yeah, you can come in.
Good.
Sorry.
Of course. The doors open up, and at first, it's opened gently with very gentle hands pushing it, with what looks like an inquisitive face about to follow, before they realize their place and their station and their presence. At which point, they throw the doors wide open, and they come in with a swagger that seems almost a little too manly. As they come along board, and they grab a chair, they flip it over a few times, and they slam it down. And they sit down and slap their thighs and like, finest sake, please. Just what a man would want. Starfall of all starfalls. Brother from another mother, how are you doing?
Oh, my friend Lei. It has been such a long time since I've seen you. Would you care for something to eat? And he picks up a bowl and carries on eating his noodles.
I am a manly man who only enjoys the finest of our wine to savor down the diet that I need to survive. Just that and a good woman, right, boys?
The several people give a cheer, and you can see several of them are well past where they should be. There's several glasses ahead of everyone else, and
hey!
This is the typical drunken bar. That no one of class or status would ever come here. So Zan reaches over and he picks up this spare bowl of noodles that he had put out, and he puts it down in front of you. But as he puts it down, you can see that he slips something underneath it.
Perhaps maybe this one time I would like to try whatever it is that you people have for food instead of the drink. But only this once, because I am a man of many tastes. And I'll grab like the noodle stick like over confidently, and I'll grab for it, and I'll grab the paper, and I'll look at it under the table as I eat the noodles.
Okay. As you reach it to read it, Jan turns to you. I think you may find these noodles a little bit bitter.
Oh, whatever do you mean? I say as I read.
It is a family recipe.
I freeze. A family recipe?
Yes, a family recipe.
Well, my compliments to the family chef. Which family did you get these ones from?
Oh, a very poisonous one.
Oh.
And as you open the letter up, you can see that it's addressed to you by your full real name. My dutiful daughter, I bring great tidings of happy and gracious news. We have found one that you are to which you will be engaged, and to which you will be married. One who is high in status and will grow soon higher, but one who could serve our own ends. My daughter, I'm sure you have heard of the retirement of the washing of the hands of the great master Ironwing Crane. He is to give up his sabre, the one to which we have betrothed you. It's someone of some little standing amongst those who will carry it to the capital. We would ask you to retrieve this for us. This sabre would be a mighty trophy of our power and our control over the new world of Wulin that will exist once the Master has retired. You may find them at the sign of the Righteous Brotherhood of the Road. Their name is Ling. Use that relationship. Help it grow. And when the time is right, seize your prize and bring it back to us. You know your duty. Signed, your honourable father, Merciless Scorpion.
I fold up the letter, and I'm still smiling and laughing, and I crush the letter in my hand as I look and I go, you know what? I'm really not feeling these noodles.
No, they're not the best, are they?
Not really. A little too bitter for my taste. In fact, this bar is a little too bitter for my taste. I think I shall take my leave.
I wouldn't go just yet. Things are likely to get interesting anytime soon.
I take a seat and I look at him with bated breath and I'm like, oh boy, I cannot wait.
He nods up to the actual balcony. And as you look up there, they haven't seen you, but you can see that your uncle sits there, gambling at one of the tables. If you are to leave, I would suggest leaving by the back door, brother.
That might be wise.
I hope the news wasn't too pretentious. I suspect we all will live in interesting times soon.
I lean forward and I go, Zungstafo, you are the greatest man amongst all the men, and I owe you a debt.
You owe me nothing. Go, friend. I will speak to you soon.
No, really, I do. I just asked the bartender to pay for those men's drinks on your tab. I'll see you later. Have a good day. Bye.
And as you going out the door, you see the bartender's hand come down on his shoulder. And Zin looks round. And you can see him take his wallet up, his purse up, and it's not very big.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
And as you're moving away, you're walking up the street, and then you can hear bells start ringing, and you can hear the sound of breaking wood and people being thrown through windows, and the local police run past you to head towards the actual inn itself.
Excellent. My distraction worked. I push my cup a little bit deeper in, and I go along the thing with Salty Tune, heading towards Destiny.
Okay, brilliant. So we'll cut to the. I think we'll cut to the caravan of the Righteous Brotherhood of the Road. The desert is long. The desert is hot. The desert is empty. The dunes rise up all around you. The sun beats down upon you, and as you walk in columns either side of this creaky wooden carriage, drawn by hand, not horse, the sun just burns down without a respite. What are you doing? There's two of you in the caravan. So we have Wulin and Black Fox Gyan.
It's a wagon? Is it locked? Does it have fabric over the top, or is it an enclosed box?
It's an enclosed box. So it's a wagon. It's big enough for someone to sit inside. And in fact, it has a door at the back of it, but it is very much a locked down wagon for transporting something securely.
Well, I have a move called It Takes a Thief.
Okay.
You can slip from any restraint or pass through any door or window as if it was open, because I quite enjoy the shade.
Excellent. And how are you going to be rolling that? What chi are you rolling with?
It doesn't seem to have a roll. It says you can slip from any restraint or pass through any door or window as if it were open.
Okay.
This slippery nature extends to attack and defense. Your body moves blah, 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 blah.
Okay, that's fine. So in order to slip inside, you will need to cause a distraction of some sort, because people are up and around. What do you do?
I think I will point to the dunes about 200 yards away and say, "There's something up there. I saw something move." Now, look. And what I'm trying to get them to do is to move that side of the wagon.
Okay, excellent. So in that case then, what I think you're going to do, I think you're actually trying to use hearts and minds here.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that the creativity of my detailed description, I definitely saw the glint of a weapon. It may have been a banner. It may have been a banner.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that will make it possible for me to roll with fire.
By all means, can you roll with fire? Do you have the roll for your party link?
Where is it?
I will post it into the chat. It's on the basic moves page.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I found it.
There we go.
Where's it gone?
It's in the chat on the right of the screen.
Yeah. Okay, so... and this is 2D. There we go. That's 11, 12, 13.
Okay, so on a hit, on a 10 plus, they bow to your words and do what you want. So yes, the guards break off and that they turn to the actual leader of the caravan and turn to Black Fox Gyan. Black Fox Gyan. Well-worn Ling has just pointed out that he saw some movement out on the dunes. He's very convincing with this. How do you react?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of scan the sand dunes. Sort of, I think I've got one of the sort of wide-brimmed bamboo hats on with probably some cloth down the back of it to keep the worst of the sun off. But yeah, I think I'm going to sort of peer out across the dunes.
Brilliant.
I am not convinced I see anything, brother, but I will investigate closer. And he's going to start trudging off across the sands towards this. And I'll just sort of say to the rest of the men, stay here and watch for trouble.
Okay.
Is there any possibility that I caught Lloyd Gyan's eye before he sets off?
If you want to, yes. If you'd like to.
And when I do this.
Fair enough. In which case, yeah, I think he's going to kind of do a kind of a cursory. He's not going to go all the way up to the dune sort of thing, but he's going to move a bit closer, sort of scan them and say, I can see nothing. It must be a mirage.
As you're standing on the ground, on the actual dune itself, we'll cut back to the inside of the actual wagon. And so, Wulin Ling, you settle down into the wagon, and you notice that it's very well laid out, and there's a little wooden pedestal in the middle of it that has this golden dragon sabre on it. It's a really elaborate Dao sabre, single-bladed, curved, quite large, but the actual metalwork on it is exquisite, absolutely exquisite. That it's jewel encrusted in the eyes where the dragons on the hilt are, and the actual the hilt itself, the leather that's on there, you're sure is some sort of snake skin, but you can't place it. It's just an absolutely elaborate and lovely piece of work.
I'm slightly concerned because it was really easy to get in here. This doesn't seem to be very safe. I need to put it somewhere safer.
Okay, so where are you putting it?
I'm going to wait until nightfall, and then I'm going to take the saber out of the wagon and tie it underneath the wagon.
Okay, excellent. So we'll let you do that when it comes to nightfall. But as it gets towards night, you get to your campsite beside one of the many oases in this desert, and so you come to the campsite itself, and you can see that the forward party have already gone ahead and started setting up tents, and they're watering the folk, and you can smell that there's actually food on the go when you arrive. There's a wonderful smell of lamb coming from the actual fires themselves. So as you arrive there, you can see that there's also another traveller that's actually on the road itself, who's setting up their own small tent. And Ming, why are you travelling to the capital city?
I am traveling to the capital city because there are. I was told that there's a gift waiting for me there, a gift from Fang Orchid, and usually her gifts are good things. Sometimes they're not exactly what I want, but so I'm traveling to the capital to find out what this gift is and to receive it.
Brilliant. Okay, so the convoy pulls up into the oasis itself. What happens when you see each other? You see the convoy come in. Wulin Ling is nowhere to be seen, but we do have Black Fox Gyan at the head of the convoy.
Now, Ling is one of my friends, but Black Fox Gyan is. Do I know Black Fox Gyan? I'm not sure that I do. Oh yeah, let's see. I see. Oh wait. Actually, I do know Black Fox Gyan. Okay, I'm just checking in on what we've decided. Actually, Black Fox Gyan is someone who I have, who I have a fancy for, but Black Fox Gyan has rejected my advances previously. Okay. So yeah, I'm very excited to see Black Fox Gyan. This is unexpected and very welcome. Yes, so Black Fox Gyan is are you riding on the wagon, or are you walking, or
he'll be sort of walking alongside it, yeah. As we approach the camp, he'll probably move a little bit further ahead of the wagon, sort of thing, to sort of meet up with the advance party here.
So as you're approaching Black Fox Gyan, you see from a small camp there is you see some familiar flowing robes, and you cannot see very well the person in the robes, but you just see these beautiful silk flowing robes with very intricate patterns all throughout them, flying around in the air, obscuring the shape of the person. And as they approach, emerging from the silk are these two very long, thin arms with very intricate tattoos covering them. And they throw themselves around you. And as the flowing silk robes flutter down, you see Ming's face in front of you, saying, "Oh, Black Fox Gyan, what a surprise. I'm so glad to see you. How are you?"
He'll probably do the kind of awkward shoulder pat sort of thing and say, Sister Ming, it is good to see you as well. It's surprised to meet you in so desolate a place. He'll kind of, do his best to extract himself politely and give a bow. And then he'll sort of make a few hand gestures to the rest of the guards to sort of get set up and, take their places sort of thing. And he'll say, you must join us for something to eat, please.
Oh, why, thank you. I would love to. I was just eating something of my own, but it is nothing special. I will bring it over and share what I can with we'll have a little feast here on the road. It will be delightful. Oh, it is so good to see you. You've just brightened my afternoon. I'm so thrilled that you're here. We must catch up and learn all about what you've been up to.
Of course. It has been a long journey through the desert, as I'm sure you've experienced yourself as well. I cannot wait until our arrival in the capital.
And as you pull into the camp itself, you can see that the person that was sent ahead with the camp crew is Iron-Face Bison, who is there actually as the leader of the camp, as the camp father, actually shouting orders to the cook, tasting soups, checking tents, checking guy ropes. And as he sees Gyan come in, he turns to him. You took your time. We expected you an hour ago.
Our apologies, brother. It has been an arduous journey. I am sorry for any inconvenience our lateness has caused you.
You have arrived here safely. That is the important thing. He hands you a skin of water.
Thank you.
Do not drink too quickly.
He'll take a sip of water and then sort of pass the water skin off to another of his companions, sort of thing.
He reaches for another water skin and goes, Lian? Sorry, Ling? Sorry, that's my mistake. Ling? Where is Ling?
I have no doubt he's skulking about somewhere, trying to avoid being roped into any work.
Brother. Wonderful! Ling is here also. Oh, I cannot wait till Ling arrives. Ling is so wonderful. Oh! This is a glorious day. Ling! Ling starts running around the group.
Brother, Ling is not here. You have the men that you have brought with you. Has he wandered off in the desert? Quick, we must get horses and go find him.
I am sure he is around somewhere.
He cannot be around somewhere. He is either here or not here. You may have my horse if you wish to. You should be quick, though. The night draws in, and once the moon rises and the sun sets, you will have no hope of finding him.
I will join you. We will find Ling together. Let us not waste any time.
Sister Ming, I could not possibly lead you into such danger. It would be
Oh, I can take care of myself, and you know that perfectly well.
Of
Come,
course.
let's go.
And Iron-Faced Bison goes, "Bring 2 horses now! Make sure they are fed and have water with them." And two stallions are brought over. And water is... the saddles are put on, water is put on their back. And Iron-Faced Bison comes over and hands you the reins. "We will guard the camp while you are gone. Please find our brother, as you promised."
Of course. We shall search for him. Come, Ming, let us see if we can find him.
Very good. And away!
And onto the horse,
Kicks her horse off ahead of you.
and you go riding off into the actual dunes with sand flying up behind you as you go. Your horses run like the wind, and in fact, you go so energetically. Black Fox's horse has trouble keeping up. In fact, it doesn't seem like Black Fox is quite as eager to actually go quite so far out into the dunes as you. So as you head out into the dunes, you get out and you look up into the sky, and you can see there are vultures circling.
Oh.
It's circling over the hill there yonder.
Oh, that... Could there be something wrong? Did you come from that direction? Is it possible Ling is in the eye of the vultures?
I do not think it is Ling, but it is probably something we should probably investigate. Come, let us make haste.
Yes.
Okay. So you get to the top of the hill, and as you crest the top of the hill, you can see that there is a man there, staked out for the sun. You can see that around him vultures hop, and he doesn't seem to move, but they are apprehensive to actually get too near him, although you can tell from their hunger that they wish to consume him, wish to pluck out his eyes and eat his flesh. As you get close, you can feel a stench on the wind. A stench of rotten flesh.
Yeah.
So does he look dead? I mean, I go up to him and see if he looks like he is actually expired, or can he be revived?
Okay. So you go up to him, and as you get close, I would like you to make a study roll, please. So,
Okay.
What chi are you using, and how does that come across?
Let's see. All right. And you asked what chi am I using?
Yes.
Let's see. So how do I study him? All right. I'm still getting used to these. I think I would study him with curiosity, which would be wood.
Okay.
So that would be +1. I roll 7 + 1 is 8.
Okay. So on an 8, on a hit you gain basic information. On a 7 to 9, you gain 1 hold, and you can spend it to ask one of the following questions. Ask a question about the situation or place. Ask a question about the person. Motivation, desires, intention, means of manipulation. Learn a person's scale, which isn't really important in this case. Or reveal a detail, which allows you to declare something which changes or adds to the established fiction. So if you want, you can actually spend that hold to declare something about this man yourself. And it is true.
Okay.
Or you can ask me a question about it, and I
Oh,
can
that
answer
would be
for you.
reveal a detail.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to reveal a detail that this man is very close to death, but has not died yet.
Okay. So the man is what? Please help me.
Yeah, I will take one of the water skips from the back of the horse and approach the man, and I will very, very slowly trickle some water into his mouth.
Okay. So this man has all of his cheese marked off. So as the water comes in, you can see it drops on his lips, and he's not able to open his mouth fully. He rubs his lips together, and there are bandits out here. They have taken everything. They have killed my family. Please help me. And he passes out at that point.
Oh, we must get him back to camp. We must help revive him.
Indeed. I'll draw my sword and sort of hack through the ropes binding him here.
Okay. So you put him on the back of your horse, and where do you go?
I will return to our encampment with him.
So I have to ask Ming. You haven't found Ling out here. How do you feel about returning without him?
I feel very conflicted about it. I'm very worried about Ling, but I also have a sense that that Black Fox Yang is not telling me something, because Black Fox Yang doesn't seem as concerned as I am. So I'm going to go along, and I say, Black Fox, where is Ling? What do you think has happened? Are you not telling me something?
Exactly where he is, I do not know, but I think he has taken his own path to get here. For what reason, I do not know. I trust that he will arrive at camp safely.
Very well. Then I will trust in your view on that. Let us go back to camp. It is getting late.
Okay. So we'll cut from that scene there. And Ling, well-worn Ling. The sun has set. You wake up inside your inside the wagon itself, having fallen asleep there during the heat of the day. You can smell food cooking outside. You can hear the guards singing and laughing. You can hear the horses that the lead guards use round. You can hear them whinny. You can hear them move. There's a feeling of joviality around the camp tonight, but also from what you can hear, you can also feel just an underlying current of tension. Something. The guards out there are all on alert, so to speak. They feign enjoyment, but something just isn't right. You're inside the carriage at the moment. How do you get out, and what do you do?
Well, I'll use the same move to get out without having to roll. But what I had in mind was then slipping underneath the wagon, hiding the saber. Probably, I'm trying to imagine what's underneath there. There'll be some kind of leather spring. I'm thinking suspension, and so I'm going to endeavour to hide the saber underneath the bed of the wagon, and then use my cloak to construct a crude hammock and curl up in it.
Okay. So you curl up in the hammock under the wagon itself. You're lifted up off the ground, so the cold of the ground doesn't get to you, and you fall asleep.
Oh, well, I wanted to actively snore very loudly.
Brilliant. So, in the distance, the unforgiven fox, Lei Fulan. What did you do once you, when you received the letter from your family?
Well, it's pretty obvious. They want me to get this thing, and they don't care what I do to get it, which means I can use it as leverage for trying to get off the back. So I need to go steal the Golden Sabre.
Excellent.
That's the only thing to do. So I find out where it is. I'm gonna get a fast horse. I know how I'm gonna integrate myself into society, but I'm gonna go for that challenge for people to claim that sword. He's gonna want a martial art fight, right? So let's go claim it the hard way. I don't see why I should let well-worn Ling do all the hard work when I can just get it myself.
And what is your relationship with well-worn Ling again?
Well, I don't know this, but I've just been informed that I have someone I've been engaged to, and I should be using them to use forward, right? That's what
right,
letter
yes.
said. So I have a second way to get it if he can't get it, but I want to try and get it myself first to prove myself.
That's brilliant. Okay, so you come up to the camp. You look down over this oasis. There's a large pool of water with palm tree, with a region appropriate trees around it, and a patch of greenery, and you can see several tents set up, and there's fires set up there, and you can see the guards sitting round, and they have one or two guards walking the perimeter of the camp, but no one has seen you as you're getting close.
Question is, this is the camp. Do I steal the sword? Or do I go in there and challenge for this? Oh, I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm doing.
I believe you have a move that means you can pretend to be a member of another faction.
Yeah, I do. I think now's a good time. So I'm going to pretend to be a member of the people who are guarding it right now.
The Righteous Brotherhood of the Road.
Righteous Brotherhood, yes.
Okay. So as you approach the camp, what are you trying to sneak into the camp, or are you approaching it openly?
Openly.
Okay. So as you come up to the camp, one of the guards spots you and pulls out his raises his bow. There's an arrow notch, but he hasn't pulled it. Halt! Who goes there?
Is this how you treat all brothers of the same? That you would raise weapons against them?
My brothers do not try to sneak into their own camp.
Does this
Come forward.
Does this look like I'm sneaking?
Come forward and be named.
I'll get off and I'll sort of walk forward and I'll sort of go, Lei Fulang of the Brotherhood.
Your name sounds familiar, but I do not recognize your voice. Of which chapter are you?
Of the 13th chapter, the one that banged your mother the last time you didn't let me in. Now open the doors! That's how men talk, right?
How dare you say something about my mother?
Why don't
My
you
mother
come
would-
down here and find out?
My mother was a virtuous woman.
Not virtuous as I heard.
He pulls a brow and draw it. Do not speak such again of my family. I will not have them dishonored.
Then you do me a dishonor by not letting me in. Are we not the same brothers? Do we not share the same blood? Do we not fight for the same runes? You insult my entire lineage by drawing that bow against me. How do you think I feel?
Can you please roll hearts and minds?
I will go so. I have no idea how this works.
Okay, so look at the cheese and decide which one best represents the way that you're trying to manipulate this person.
I'm going for presence.
Okay.
So Earth, would that make sense?
Yep, if that is what it is named as on there.
Oh, did
So-
someone pick pink already? I want it to be pink. This suck.
So can you roll 2d6?
Oh, I'll be lavender.
Lavender is one of the best colours. It's just that right side of purple.
The fun side of purple. Okay, here we go. 2d6. Uh-oh, that did not work. Let's try it again. 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so on 9, on a 7 they can instead choose. 1 second. Okay, when you pressure someone's acceptable to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do and roll. For an NPC on a 10+, they bow to your words and do what you want. On a 7 to 9, they can instead choose to reveal. You may ask 2 questions for them. So that would be me of you. Okay. Okay. So you get to. I think you get to choose the options here.
Oh, do I get to choose? I thought they choose.
It's for an NPC. So
Yeah, for an NPC. Yeah. They okay. I thought they chose. So I guess I choose then.
yes.
I kind of feel that even though I've insulted his mom and we're having this talk, I feel like I've bonded with this guy. He seems really nice. Like he wants to defend his people. I like to gain a bond with him.
Okay. So in which case then, can you gain a +1 bond with? Let's choose a name. That's why these name generators are absolutely brilliant. Let's choose Saffron Dusk.
The Brotherhood. Done.
Okay.
And our relationship will be tenuous.
So go into what you were saying again, and
Do you not dishonor the entire word of the faction by suspecting a single brother? A brother who's come to you open-aired and arms? How else do you expect me to react? Of course I'm going to insult someone important to you. You disrespect my name by respecting us all. Do you not share a bond with me? Do we not both break from the same bread?
all those who walk the roads with us are brothers. You know that. That is part of our oath. And you can see him loosen some of the tension from the arrow.
Then why don't you come down here and show me the true part of our bond? Let us be bonded with more than just brothers on the road. Become brothers who share wine and drink. Like true men. Honestly, this guy thing is so easy.
And you can see that he detensions the bow and puts the arrow back in his quiver and slings it over his shoulder and walks towards you. I'm sorry for doubting you, brother.
And I'm sorry for insulting your mother. And I give like a handshake, like a manly handshake out.
Yeah. And he manly handshake, and he goes to pull you in and give you a tap on the back.
I put my hand in front of my breast just in case. Yeah, oh yeah, also good.
Come, there is food, drink, and a very good mutton.
I look forward to your mutton.
And you gain access to the camp itself.
Oh, thank fucking Christ.
He can't get in because he's still on guard duty. And so he goes back to his post, wandering the periphery, and you gain access to the camp. You can see there's around about 40 people here. So you can see that there are several tents set up, and there's people gathered around multiple small fires. You can see the person who effectively is in control of the scene, which is Iron-Faced Bison.
Okay, avoiding him.
And you can see that he's sitting at the fire with a big mug of big gourd of wine that he's drinking from, and he's probably well past a few glasses into that already. There's singing, and you can see that as the night goes on, people are getting up and doing a little bit of dancing and singing and shouting around the fire, and it's all getting a bit more drunken and a little bit less organised and professional.
All right. Well, I guess the best thing to do is to gather information. I need to find out where the saber is if I can steal it. I mean, win it righteously. So okay. I will. You know what? A man cannot say no to free wine. I will get in there. This is so hard. Okay.
So the wine gourd comes round, and this is not particularly good wine. These people aren't particularly well paid, but it's in large quantities, and it's all going down the people. And can you roll a study roll, please? In fact, you don't need to roll a study roll. There's only one place this sword could be. There's a locked wagon.
Oh.
So if you want to learn more about it, you can certainly roll a study roll to actually find out more information. Or
yeah, I'll make a study roll to find out more information once I figure out what a study roll is. Oh, study, the word study.
Yes, as in under the basic moves.
Okay, when you study something to change the game states, let's see what I can do. All right, I'm drinking with these guys. I'm trying to like chilling out 100%. Can I make a water roll?
Yeah, if
awareness, wisdom, and flexibility.
Yes, if you want to. If you think that is the most appropriate cheat.
All right, here we go. 9 exactly.
Okay, so on a 9, what I 1 second.
Take your time.
So on a 9, you get to ask. You get one hold and get to use one of those options.
Okay. So one question. Let's see. Learn the person's skill. Well, Iron Bison is like way above me. I'm not going to think about him. I'm not. Oh, I know what to ask. Ask your person. Who is the big person in charge of guarding the saber? Like, who is the one that who must always be around it? Who's the one person they have charged to be 100% in charge? Who's that?
Okay, you look around the camp itself, and as you look around the camp, you notice that while everyone else is drinking, there's one person there who doesn't appear to be drinking at all. It's an older woman who sits around the fire. When the bottle's passed to her, it comes to her. It goes to her lips, but she doesn't appear to drink it, and then passes it on. You notice that she's still, unlike virtually everyone else in this camp, she's still incredibly sober, and she's watching the wagon intently.
It's gonna be a long night. Well, let's go say hello. I shall drunkenly stagger over to her, just take a seat and give her a short bow.
Brother, and she seems really uncomfortable. Please, pull up a log.
I think I should take the one that's already been left by another drunken person. I do apologize, brother.
And that drunken person is literally lying on the ground behind the log, actually snoring loudly.
I'll lift up their legs and just throw them off like that, get out of here. I'm done with this shit. Just in the corner. And I'll take a seat and I'll dramatically grab my thesis and go, I would pass this over to you, but I believe you are on lighter duty tonight.
I didn't think it was so obvious.
Oh, you have done nothing but stare at that wagon this entire time.
I didn't think I was so obvious.
When it comes to the Brotherhood, we have to make sure we watch out for each other. And you are watching out for us all by doing this. As such, the least I can do is thank you. But not for your diligence, I would not be having this wonderful, large bottle of really nice tasting wine.
You are welcome. It is what my master wished of me.
Well, if you are to thank me, perhaps you can thank me with a name.
I am Steel-Beaked Crane.
We do have a female senior of the Brotherhood, Lan Jin Liu, who suspects my friend Min Starfall works against our faction. Just saying.
No, you want to swap? I can swap. We can swap the names.
Yeah.
Cool. What's her name again? La Jin Yu, right?
Lang Jin Yu. Yeah.
La Jin Yu. I am Lei Fulang, and I will not be passing this over to you. Although, perhaps a small sip?
I shouldn't. I really shouldn't.
I will not ask again this hour. And I'll put it back down.
I suspect that you were one who was a bit more persistent than that.
Persistence is one of my finer traits, but I try not to push it too much, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh well, if I indulge now, then at least it will stop you for the rest of the night. Pass me that wine.
Only if you insist. I could not possibly, force you to have something this strong. It would be. I mean, I understand that the great Sinju can handle her own, but perhaps you are working. This may not be the best of times.
I have to stay on guard. There is a thief in camp, one who seeks to steal the cargo we carry.
What? A thief is in camp?
I've seen her. She's ridden off with the young master.
Which thief is this?
The young Mistress Starfall.
Mistress Starfall is here?
You're familiar with her and her duplicitous ways, I see.
Who isn't familiar with young thieves? One must keep an eye out for all the guardsmen they do.
Yes. We cannot let her get too close to the wagon and its cargo.
Absolutely, that would be horrendous.
Pass me the drink. I will have one to settle my nerves. And she grabs the gourd and
I'm physically holding against her because you see I have poisoned the gourd to make her fall asleep. And now I'm like, wait, no, I don't want to blame Ming Starfall for something I steal. And so I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea. Maybe not. Maybe don't actually take this. Maybe you should focus.
Don't be ridiculous. My nerves are shot. Let me have that.
I insist. You are doing your best to keep the peace, and that is something you should. I would not drink this. This would be no.
You've offered it to me. You come in good faith to me. It would be rude of me to say no. I appreciate your efforts to satisfy my honor, but I'm thirsty and I'm entitled to at least one drink. Can you roll hearts and minds, please, to stop her?
How am I rolling hearts and minds to stop her? The thing I don't want. Oh my god. Okay, let's do this.
Sorry, are you actually trying to poison her now, or aren't you?
I mean, at the end of the day, if she gets it, I poison her. So yes, I'm trying to poison her. I got a 7.
Okay, so on a 7, you can ask 2 questions of them. You can gain a bond of them, or you can gain +1 ongoing on them, and last until there is a major change with them in the fiction.
Oh, that +1's not gonna last. I will create. I think unintentionally, what I'm about to do is going to get blamed on Ming Starfall. So I'm going to create animosity between them and Ming Starfall. Not on purpose, but this will definitely go back against them.
Brilliant. I like that entirely.
I clearly don't want that to happen, but I've accidentally started it from happening. So yeah, I will do that as I pass them the wine. Oh god.
Brilliant. So what I would like you to do.
Mm-hmm.
She takes the wine. She takes the drink. Oh, that's really good.
It's great.
Oh, that's really strong.
I only have the best.
Oh, really? Oh, I've obviously not drunk enough. And she collapses backwards. You can see that there's some other people around the fire point at her and laugh, and they are well into their cup.
Oh, what do I do? Okay. All right, let's wait. Can I just weigh the options for 1 minute?
Yes, and while you're thinking about it, I think we're going to have Black Fox Yan and Ming are actually arriving camp. So you two arrive back in camp. Who's got the injured man on the back of the horse?
I will, I think. I'll be right. Well, especially no, I'll probably be slightly behind Ming because my horse is carrying 2 people. So
okay. So as Ming comes up the road, the sentry, stop. Who goes there? Are you friend or are you foe?
We are of this camp. Let us through. We bring a weary traveler who is in need of assistance. And Ming just rides right past him. Ming doesn't even bother to heed. Doesn't slow down.
As he sees you go past, he basically stop, and he doesn't recognize you because you're not part of the group, and he stops and starts to draw back his bow. Of course, he's got his back to Black Fox Yang now.
I'll call out. Hold, she travels with me. It is I, Black Fox Jiang.
Young master, you have a casualty.
Yes, it is not.
Is it Brother Ling?
No, it is another traveller we found upon the road, beset by bandits.
There are bandits in this area?
So he claimed before he lost consciousness.
We must rouse the camp. We
Indeed.
cannot. And you can see that he pulls a horn from his belt and blows into it. And he stands there, and as you ride past, and everyone in the camp can hear this horn. No one's really doing anything. They're all too drunk.
I think Ling is responsible enough to respond to the emergency alarm. So he will roll out of the hammock and look around.
Okay, so you roll out around the camp, and you roll out. You look around, and the camp is a drunken revel at this point in time. People aren't paying attention at all to what's going on. You can see that Iron-Faced Bison is there. He's heard the horn. He's basically going around kicking the people on the floor to try and get them up. But these aren't the most righteous and upright of individuals to begin with, so they're not reacting really quickly. And you can hear horses in the distance.
Well, I think I prepare to repel boarders, because this must be the threat.
So there's a horse that comes up and over the dune, and in this you can see there's sun behind it, and the moon behind it as the horse tops the rise, and there's this ghostly creature with flowing white robes behind it. It looks like something out of a ghost story as it comes down you, and it's crowned by the silver light of the moon.
Gosh.
And yes,
I wasn't expecting a desert spirit.
That is you, Ling.
Oh, do I see it's her?
No, you can't make it out yet, but she can see it's you in the firelight.
So I present arms, and I'll bar the way of this djinn.
I'm sorry, did you say me? Was that me he sees? Or was that someone else? I was confused.
That
wasn't me.
No, it was. It's Ming.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, it's
Ming.
me.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
Sorry,
Okay, yes.
we've got so many names that sound very similar.
Okay, great. Okay, so Ming comes flowing over us with colorful silk robes flowing all about her over the hill, and oh yes, she recognizes you, well-worn Ling, and rides her horse right up to you, and puts her hand down for you, and if you'll take it, she'll pull you up onto her horse and give you a hug from up on top of the horse.
Has Ming actually said anything, or is she still a shadow with the sun behind her?
She is with the moon. Yes, it's a moonlit night. But I think you would recognize Ming. She's very distinctive. She has these flowing silk robes that are very intricate and ornate, and tattoos all over her bare arms. And you would surely recognize her as your friend as she approached.
Yeah, is this up to me, Gerwin, or do you want to make a judgment?
No, it's up to
Because
you.
if I recognise it's Ming, I won't hit her. If it is a desert djinn, I will hit her.
Okay, so you choose how you want to react. Do you think
Well,
that this is a desert djinn, or?
Well, I've got a moon behind. I've got this bizarre creature who's reaching towards me. And I can't see her face. I certainly can't see the tattoos in this light. And so I have to assume that this is a desert djinn.
In my mind's eye, when we actually have the film of this and we have the movie of this, it's actually shot in such a way so it doesn't look like Ming at this point. So it's all very stylized, and it's like the whole thing with Gladriel, where it's just the light behind and you don't actually get to see the features. So at this point, I guess you're attacking. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So you're both at this comes down to the duel mechanics. When you're both at equal scale, the person initiating the combat gets to make an offer to the opposing character about what they will give them with regards to if they'll let them win. If they refuse that, one second. One second. If your foe is on, okay. If your foe is on lesser scale, hang on 1 second. PC versus PC duels. When you challenge another PC, say what you'll give them if they accept your victory. You may offer unspent XP, character actions, burned bonds, changes to entanglements, or similar things the GM approves. You may put a single offer on the table. If the other player accepts, they lose and gain XP. You must follow through on your offer. If the other player rejects the offer, you both mark chi, and the offered player then chooses to win or draw. Okay,
so just follow me through this. My first inclination is to change the entanglement that involves Lan Jin Liu, my senior, and Ming. But because I don't know this is Ming, I can't offer that, can I?
Well, because you
it's can, a desert djinn.
You can, because this isn't actually an offer to the character. This is what you, as the player, is offering the other player.
Okay.
So.
Right. Well, if I am allowed to win this combat, I will change the entanglement that currently says that Lan Jin Liu of the Brotherhood suspects Min Starfall works against us. So I will change that to be more positive.
Okay, and what exactly will you change that to?
Okay. My clan senior Lan Jin Liu agrees that my friend Ming Starfall is a friend of the faction.
Okay.
Well, so not only does Ming want to win this duel, but as a player, I kind of like that Lan Jin Liu suspects Ming. So I think I'm going to not accept. What do we do next?
Okay, so in that case, you both mark chi, and given that this is dueling, this is your form chi.
Yep.
And at that point, you get to choose whether you win or you draw.
Oh, right.
Wait,
so Walter gets to choose whether Walter wins or whether there's a draw.
Now what is it? So what happens if I win a duel versus a draw in a duel? Like, what are if there's a draw, does that mean that what are the differences between those as far as the fiction?
Well, you winning the duel will basically be you defeating well-worn Ling. So it will be a brief fight, and you could basically end up with them in a chokehold, in a bar hold, or wrapping your sleeve or your flexible weapon around one of their legs and dragging them behind the horse, or hooking them over one of the trees and basically pulling them up so they can't actually attack you or hit you. A draw will be basically where there's a brief passage between the two characters, and it ends as an impasse.
Okay. All right, I'm going to say then that I'll take the win, and that I take my actually, hold on, I might have a move that let's see. So I have a move. Let's see if this applies. Called Monkey Fist Floating Snake. When you defeat a named foe, in oh wait, that's not it. Oh no, that's my prodigy. Okay, that's for rolling for a duel. So
That's
is
right.
there? So there's another occasion where we could roll, but he chose to do a different part of the move. He
Yes,
chose.
because you're on the same level.
Okay.
So because you're on the same scale, basically it's sorted out as a negotiation between. If there's a difference in
Okay.
scale between you, then the one with the highest scale will win, and depending on what was rolled determines how the fight ends.
Just a rule question. There's a distinct difference between a duel with a non-player character foe and a PC versus PC encounter.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. So there would be there's normally a roll with an NPC with foe, but between characters are there sometimes rolls? Is this just not now? Anyway,
if you look on basic moves, for
it's a lot of
when you challenge-
undercool.
yeah, for between PC and PC, it's always negotiation.
Oh, okay.
So it's only
Okay,
when,
cool.
only when you
So-
it's only when you challenge an NPC that you roll.
So, all right. So, I have these very long robes, and what Ming does is Ming comes running down and offers her hand to Ling, and as Ling, what is it? What does your attack look like? I'd like
It's
to
a
know
staff.
what Ling is.
It's a staff. So what I'd imagined was driving the staff into the ground, leaping up, and attempting to hit you with both feet.
Okay, brilliant. All right.
Okay.
So, oh yes.
I was going to say,
so
because this is martial arts and because this is over the top and Featherfoot style is the thing in this, you can be as elaborate with the descriptions or the combats as you want. This is your chance to be awesome. So you can go out
Yeah.
and really be awesome when doing it, when you actually do the descriptions. Don't let
Yeah,
physics
okay.
or reality get in the way.
Ah, nice. Okay, we've got wires here.
Yes, this is very much
All right.
Wire-fu.
Excellent. So, so Ling does this amazing acrobatic kick with the staff, and manages to catch Ming unawares, and knocks Ming off of Ming's horse. But Ming has wrapped while Ming is falling, and Ling is kind of following through, like basically pole vaulting over the horse. Ming wraps her silk all the way under the belly of her horse and basically like pulls herself under the horse, so she never hits the ground. She just kind of does this, swings around the horse using her silks, and then sends out one more of her silks and catches Ling just as Ling is about to make this like flip and land gracefully on the other side of the horse. Ming lashes out her robe and catches Ling by the feet, by the ankles, and pulls, and Ming falls and gets a face full of sand. And then Ming says, "Me, don't you have a hug as well, old friend?"
And Ling will kind of and look up, and now of course their positions have changed, so now the moonlight is shining on her face, and he kind of goes, "Ah," and welcomes her properly.
And at that point, I think we have Black Fox Jiang actually crest the hill. And he sees these two embracing. How does that make you feel? You're muted, Dave.
Yeah. So yeah, I think as he comes over the hill, he's going to spot Ling and go, friend, we have been searching half this desert for you. I am glad you have finally made your appearance. But look lively. I think there may be bandits coming.
And at that point, I think the first arrows fly out of the darkness to the pepper the ground around you, as bandits line the actual dunes, having followed you back to your camp. There's a great cry and a great horn sounds again and again and again. And at that point, I think we have the "to be continued" actually comes up on the screen. And I think we're going to leave that as a cliffhanger there, because we're slightly over time. So that's Heart of Wulin. Walter, thank you for playing this week. I really appreciate it being such last minute. I'm sorry you didn't get to see as much of the game as I'd hoped, but we needed to go through and do basic character gen and basic entanglements to get that done, and that always takes a little bit of time in the first session, I'm afraid. But I hope you've enjoyed the game that you've seen. Are you signed up for any of the later games?
I believe I have made it into the 4th game.
Excellent. So we will see Ming Starfall return then. So we will see you in 3 weeks' time. Everyone.
Very good.
Thank you for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the game. I think I'm going to end the broadcast here.